Well, speaking of a team who is hot in the portal right now, that is Miami, and that is where we go next. Welcoming Gaby Urrutia of Inside the U. Gaby, so excited to hear from you. We had to have you on this show. We're talking transfer portal, and Miami has been awfully hot lately. Let's start with Oregon State running back transfer coming in Damien Martinez. What impact can he make for the U this fall?
And he can make a huge impact right away, Emily. You know, Damien Martinez, Miami got him out of Oregon State. He was one of their top overall targets when they went into this transfer portal session. He's a big deal. You know, Miami going out and getting the top available running back in this spring window. It was a mission accomplished. I mean, Damien Martinez was kind of their guy from the jump. He's who they sort of circled at the top of their board, and they get him. I mean, they wanted to surround Cam Ward with some firepower. You get a big-time tailback in Damien Martinez to go along with the big-time quarterback, and surrounding him with weapons on the outside. They have two top receivers in Xavier Restrepo and Jacoby George returning. So, they wanted to get a big-time tailback into that backfield, and they certainly did with Damien.
He's the most recent addition, but Miami has been consistently adding talent through the transfer portal this entire spring window. They've, added a lot of impact transfers just overall. You mentioned Cam Ward as one of them, really getting the ball rolling early on in the spring. But who stands out to you as some other guys that are coming in for the first time and that we'll see a lot of this fall?
Yeah, Miami just went out and got guys like Sam Brown, the Houston wide receiver. I mean, he just went 815 yards. This past fall for the Cougars. He's very familiar with Shannon Dawson's offense. And, everything that the Cougars kind of did on offense, what Miami's play caller does. So Miami's extremely excited about getting Sam Brown. They went out to Louisville, got Jalen Alderman, a linebacker who's very familiar with Derek Nicholson. Derek Nicholson, Miami's linebackers coach and co-defensive coordinator, is the man who recruited him to Louisville, coming out of the high school level. So Miami's extremely excited about Jalen Alderman as the guy who started 14 games for the ACC runner-up. So a lot of experience, a lot of depth, value at that linebacker. They have two in Kiko Mawanoa and Wesley Basaint that are really good, that they're extremely excited about. And Jalen Alderman, certainly, makes that room really, really strong. They also go out and get Deani Hill, a cornerback out of Marshall, who, again, staff ties. Chevis Jackson, the cornerbacks coach and safeties coach, and defensive coordinator Lance Guidry were both at Marshall, recruited Deani Hill to Marshall. He's now at Miami. So Miami also gets some additional, experience in the secondary. Deani Hill started 9 games last year for the Thundering Herd, and a lot of different schools were after him as a transfer. Lands at Miami. So really 4 big-time additions over a span of 24 hours. Miami got red hot there for over the weekend in the transfer portal. They're extremely excited about everything that they added.
That's what's so impressive about this haul, is that the spring window is usually to add in some depth pieces, but it sounds like Miami got some great impact guys that can do a lot for them early on. Matt Zenitz, who was just on the show, was also on our show yesterday, and he pointed out that he thinks that Miami might not be done with this spring transfer portal window and could add a few more guys. So what can you tell us about potential targets?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot that Miami would still like to get done in this transfer window. A guy like Tyler Barron, the Tennessee, Louisville, he was just talking about the bouncing back and forth of the transfer windows. I mean, Tyler Barron's a guy that, did something similar. He's in the portal again. Miami's, they want to get him. Jason Taylor's extremely high on, this veteran pass rusher. He had his best year in 2023 for the Vols. Miami's definitely in the thick of that one. They just had him on campus alongside the 4 others that we mentioned who all ended up committing to Miami. So Tyler Barron's another one that Miami would love to add. They also got Simeon Barrow currently on campus, the Michigan State defensive tackle, who, again, LSU, Missouri, potentially some others are also involved with. So Miami would, of course, would like to add some meat, in the middle of that defensive, that defensive tackle room, just like everyone else. It seems like all the big-time programs are all in the thick of it for some of these big-time names. So, I think Barrow and Tyler Barron are probably 2 of the most that Miami would like to add right now.
All right, those are 2 defensive linemen. What are maybe some other positions of need for Miami?
Yeah, I think there's a couple different positions that Miami could continue to explore. They have an opening on the offensive line at left guard. I think if the right option emerged, someone with experience, someone who can potentially get the job done, I think that they would explore that. So definitely not ruling out an offensive lineman, at least, again, exploring that option. I think a safety is potentially on the table. And truthfully, maybe another defensive tackle. Like, again, they would like to add Barrow if they could potentially find a second one to kind of pair alongside him or to just kind of get involved with. I think Miami's always looking to add depth and talent on that defensive line. So those are just a few spots where I could see Miami just continuing to explore some options.
Gaby, thank you so much. Appreciate you updating us on everything that is happening down in Miami, because it is a lot. For more transfer portal news and to read up on the additions that we discussed, you can head to Inside the U. If you're like me and you love a good podcast, I just want to shout this out real quick. Gaby and David Lake, they have one that is spectacular, a must listen, called Through the Smoke. You can find that at InsideTheU.com.